Well, okay, we're gonna take this chair. Look at that.
Hey, Ben.
Like a bro, my friend. All right.
How's it going?
Let's break open
first
beer or
question,
something.
can
Okay.
men get pregnant?
Men cannot get pregnant,
Okay, awesome. So,
definitionally.
definitionally, okay. Do men experience SA? Sexual assault?
Sure.
Got it. What about the existence of trans men?
What about the existence? Do you mean women who believe that they are men? What are we talking about here? Women experiencing gender dysphoria?
So my other question is, do you benefit from white supremacy in any way, shape, or form?
I'm going to need more specifics on what you mean by white
Well, here,
supremacy.
let me give it to you, Ben.
Sure, please.
So I'm a transgender man.
Okay.
Ben,
Like a bro, my friend. All right. Okay.
I've experienced SA.
Okay.
And abortion rights affect me directly. So if we're talking about the American dream that you live,
So-
why don't I have access to that? Because there's no legislation, in the history of America, that legislates a man's body. So why does mine have to be legislated? I've got a vagina.
I'm not interested in what your genitalia are.
Clearly you are. I mean, it's all over everything you make,
no,
buddy. I'm sorry. I hate to say it to you, but
I think you can read on my
kind of an
face that I
obsession
radically
you
am
guys
not.
have.
I think you can read on my face that I radically am not. When we're talking about
No,
abortion,
I don't. I mean, you can present it here, but in most of the content that you have, you attack my community constantly. And you don't even realize guys like me exist who actually share a lot of similarities to you and everything, because I'm a married man of 20 years.
I
got a wife.
recognize that you exist. I just
So recently I posted a video titled, I was on my way down a right-wing rabbit hole, which got way more views than any of my other videos. And I got a few comments on that video. So I will expand upon some of the topics that were taken up in the comment section here. A lot of it seemed to be about the trans movement. At first I was a little bit confused because I didn't really talk that much about the trans movement, but it might have stemmed from the clip of Ben Shapiro that I used. But it does seem to be a little bit of confusion around the LGBTQ+ label. So let me, a straight white man, straighten it out for you. What all the different letters in LGBTQ+ stands for. L stands for lesbian, G stands for gay, B stands for bi/bisexual, T stands for trans, Q stands for queer, and plus covers everything else. Now, where the confusion seems to come in is a lot of people seem to get the T and the Q mixed up. People who are covered by T are specifically people whose sex and gender are opposite. Now, I was corrected by someone in the comments about conflating sex and gender, so I am also guilty about mixing things up when it comes to LGBTQ+ stuff. Because it's not my lived experience. Now back to what I was talking about. The Q stands for queer, and that is where people who don't identify with any gender falls under. The people that uses the pronouns they, them. Another commenter brought up Yasuke, and that is what the brunt of this video is going to be about. He said that he agreed with me up until the point that I mentioned Yasuke, and he seemed to have watched the video all the way through because he brought up some other stuff that I mentioned later in the video. So thank you for giving me watch time and views because you kept coming back and responding to comments. Now, he claims to be Japanese, and I choose to believe him, even though anyone can claim to be anyone in a comment section with a random name and no profile picture. Now, there have been a lot of controversies around Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it's Shadows, not Shadow, like I said in my video. I'm glad nobody picked up on that. Things that Ubisoft has gotten wrong about Japan culturally or architecturally, and that is a bit of a shitty oversight. Now, the Assassin's Creed team has used to be very good about depicting historical locations accurately, so it's a bit strange that they seem to have so much trouble this time around. From using Chinese architecture to wrong etiquette. Maybe we should go back and scrutinize their earlier projects. Maybe the people from the places that they've depicted before haven't been too bothered about the inaccuracies. Or maybe they've simply been ignorant to the inaccuracies. Or maybe it's been harder for them to get Japan right for some reason or another. Or maybe it's something so innocent as the game assets weren't completely done yet in the trailer that we watched, and they were using placeholders. Now, Assassin's Creed Shadows was supposed to come out in November, but it's been delayed until February. But it's been delayed until February. But it's been delayed until February. But it's been delayed until the second month of the year. So a lot of the inaccuracies will probably be addressed and fixed. But it probably won't be perfect because nothing is. Now onto the main topic, Yasuke. The guy who commented seemed to think that I was defending Ubisoft's decision to have Yasuke be one of the playable protagonists in Assassin's Creed Shadows. And the fact is, I didn't give my opinion on him one way or the other. But now I'm going to defend that decision. First off, you have the option of playing as Yasuke or Naoe. So if you choose to, you can ignore Yasuke and just play as Naoe. I don't know how much Yasuke will be in the game if you choose to play it like this, and nobody knows because the game isn't out yet. Now what do I think about Ubisoft's decision to feature Yasuke? I think it's cool. From an Assassin's Creed lore perspective, the Hidden Ones were started in Africa, or Egypt to be exact, by Bayek of Siwa. Now will the story be that Yasuke is part of a branch of that order? Not much is known about Yasuke before he came to Japan. It is speculated that he's from Mozambique. Now the Hidden Ones order might have spread through Africa in the Assassin's Creed universe, and Yasuke might be in the Mozambique order. Or maybe he joined the Egyptian order, and then he travelled to his home in Mozambique because a Japanese fleet had docked there, and it was speculated that a Templar target was residing in Japan. Because I think we're back to Templars and Assassins now, because this game is set in the 1500s, which is after Assassin's Creed 2. So Yasuke will be the one to bring the Assassin's Brotherhood to Japan, much like Basim brought it to England. I think this is very cool. It will be a nice tie-in to Assassin's Creed Origins. Maybe we can even go back to Egypt or see some more of Africa. See where the Brotherhood Bayek started ended up. Now the commenter who brought up Yasuke also had problems when we were talking about COVID-19 conspiracies, claiming that 95% of them came true. I don't know what conspiracy theories exactly is referring to, so there's no way for me to find out whether they came true or not. But I can address the conspiracy theory that the Walking Dead guy was speculating about, if my memory serves me right. I think it was the lab leak theory. Most scientists remain skeptical of the possibility of laboratory origins, citing a lack of supporting evidence for a lab leak and the abundant evidence of zoonosis. Though some scientists agree a lab leak should be examined as part of an ongoing investigation. In other words, it's not been proven correct. It's not impossible that it's true, and China isn't exactly transparent, and the guy who was in the White House at the time of the pandemic started wasn't exactly helping. He shut down an early detection program in China that would have maybe shed some light upon this theory, and China wasn't willing to work with him, and even less willing when he pushed the blame of his handling of the pandemic on them, calling it the China virus.
Some important developments in our war against the Chinese virus. We'll be invoking the Defense Production Act just in case we need it.
Why do you keep calling this the Chinese virus? There are reports of dozens of incidents of bias against Chinese Americans in this country. Your own aide, Secretary Azar, says he does not use this term. He says ethnicity does not cause the virus. Why do you keep using this? A lot of people say it's racist.
It's not racist at all, no, not at all. It comes from China. That's why. It comes from China. I want to be accurate. Yeah, please, John, please.
But the point is, there wasn't any evidence for a lab leak at the time this guy was speculating about it, and spreading these unproven theories isn't helping anyone, and led to violence against Asian people. And the racists attacking people don't care if you're from Japan, South Korea, or China. They can't tell the difference. And if they heard that someone who kind of looks like you are responsible for inconveniencing them, some of them might attack, either physically or verbally. That is why I unsubscribed to him. I think there was an attack on this older Asian woman in the US around this time, and she wasn't even from China. Not that it's okay to attack someone from China, even if the pandemic started there. They didn't start it. Spreading or speculating over something that might have the potential to put a certain group of people at risk have real life, sometimes deadly consequences. Thank you very much for listening. I hope things turn around for you if they need to, and stay good if they're good. Bye!